Yo, what up, YouTube? It's SBLEZ aka Scott coming to you live for another video. This is a special video because I'm about to show you the top 3 PC cards in my collection. I never thought I'd be able to own these 3 cards because they're super high-end cards and all 3 of them are super rare. I got a little lucky. I picked up these cards pre-boom.
To the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
There's been a crazy boom in the last 2 years in the card industry. This industry was basically a hidden industry. It was a niche industry. Not many people in the industry. It was just for true collectors and fans of the game. Now it's grown tremendously. So many people have come into the industry and they've driven up prices of cards. It's been great, for the true collectors that have held on to all their cards from the last 10, 15 years. And I'm just super lucky that I have these 3 cards. These 3 cards are going to stay in my collection forever. I grew up a basketball collector. I love basketball cards. And I actually got lucky because I picked them up pre-boom. And I'm about to tell you the prices of these cards. It's almost not believable how much I paid for these cards. But before the boom, we kind of knew what cards were worth. Without seeing the comps, it was pretty easy figuring out what cards would sell for. Not what they're worth but what they sell for. So now for certain cards, the sky's the limit. The super rare cards, we're seeing these cards sell for record numbers on Golden. And yeah, there's a couple of comps on 2 of these cards, but one of these cards, there's never going to be a comp because it's one of the best cards in the history of this player's cards. So I'm going to talk about the first card. This card is from 16-17 Impeccable Basketball. The special cards in Impeccable are the Impeccable stats. These are tough to hit and they feature a player's, one of their biggest accomplishments, their highlights of their careers. One of the most iconic games in NBA history is the Kobe Bryant 81-point game. So, for the Impeccable stat set, in 16-17 Impeccable, they made a Kobe Bryant stats 81-point on-card autograph card, career highlights. This card is numbered to 81. That might sound high, but it's not. There's only 81 copies of this amazing card. Just look at this card. It's beautiful. Back in 16, there was actually a lot of comps. When a product comes out, people, go to eBay fast and they try to sell their cards, recoup funds. So there were actually plenty of comps. So it was an easy purchase for me. We hit this in a group break. And the person that hit this, Os Ritmos, I remember it like it was yesterday, he hit this card. Hopefully he doesn't watch this video because I'm about to remind him how much I paid for this card. He hit this card and there was plenty of comps. Some sold for $1,300, $1,400, $1,600, $1,700, $1,200. Around 20 or 30 sold within the first few weeks of Impeccable. And so I gave him $1,500 for the card. I was happy. He was happy. And this card has stayed in my collection since 2016. It came out in 2017 and it's going to stay in my collection. So I paid $1,500, but this is a PC for life. There is a comp. One's just sold for around $18,000. But that's actually a bad sell because a lot of the time it's about timing of sales. This is not the best time to sell Kobe. Unfortunately, the anniversary of his death is coming up. His birthday is coming up. So he's going to be mainstream news. that's probably a better time to sell this card if you have this card. And it's actually pretty cool. I have this card and the backer has one. We hit one for someone else. We actually hit 3 of them. And so I have one and the backer has one. And the backer, it's going to probably stay in his collection for the rest of his life. Let's move on to card number 2. The 2 most iconic sets in NBA history is 86 Fleer and 0304 Exquisite Basketball. You know, the 86 Fleer, you can hit the Michael Jordan rookie. That's like the iconic, him dunking, the iconic rookie. And 0304 Exquisite is the first high-end product in the history of this industry. I still remember it like it's yesterday. This box retailed originally at $400. $400 for Exquisite. People that are new to the industry, they're like, what is happening? How is it $400? Boxes of NT usually sell between $4,000 and $5,000. This was a $400 box. And the crazy thing is, this product was sitting on shelves. We thought $400 for a box was insane. And it was insane. So now, I'm not sure what the most recent box sold for. It's obviously upwards of 6 figures. And as a lot of you know, you might not know that I grew up a Knicks fan. Diehard Knicks fan. And this next player that I'm about to show is probably the best player that I watched growing up. It's Carmelo Anthony. So the most iconic RPAs before NT, there was Exquisite. This is the most iconic RPA. And I have a Carmelo Anthony graded in an 8.5. It's a thick stock card, so these are tough grades. If you get an 8.5 or a 9 on a high-end RPA, that's great. I never thought I would be able to own this card. This is such a high-end card, rare card. These don't hit the market that often. So once I saw this hit the market, I had to pick it up. Pre-boom, I paid $9,000 for it. I have no idea what it's worth now. I don't know if there's been any recent comps. I don't care, because this is going to stay in my collection for the rest of my life. The Exquisite RPA before NT. Exquisite was the high-end set that everyone wanted. And part of the reason it's so iconic now is because Upper Deck lost their license in 09 after the 09-10 collecting season. So they can't really make NBA jerseys for Exquisite. So Exquisite will always be known as an iconic set because it's the first high-end product in the history of sports cards. Crazy. That's card number 2. And card number 3, it needs an explanation because the player was originally drafted in the 2nd round. And when a player is drafted in the 2nd round, they don't come over sometimes. If they're from overseas, they don't come over right away. And this player didn't come over right away. So this player didn't come over right away. And when a player's a 2nd round pick, he doesn't have as many cards as a 1st round pick. This card is from 2015-16 Select Basketball. That means this product came out before Optic. Optic's debut was in 16-17. Mosaic's debut was in 16-17. And they made a lot less products back in 15-16. This player, since he was a 2nd round pick, a lot of the 2nd round picks don't have an NTRPA. He does not have an NTRPA. He has rookie autographs in NT, but not an RPA. Doesn't have a logo mat. I think this is a top 2 card they'll ever make of Nikola Jokic. Remember, he doesn't have Prism autos. He does not. He has a black to 1. He has golds, but he doesn't have a Prism autograph. I personally don't collect Prism autographs. I don't like the sticker. So I personally believe that the true black would be worth more if he did have an autograph. So I picked up this card pre-boom and back-to-back MVPs. This card is in a PSA 10 holder. It's an on-card autograph, black, of Nikola Jokic. What a card! It's a black, and it's stamped 1 of 1. And I like how it says the digit 1 of 1. I don't like the new 1 of 1 spelled out. This card is just insane. I picked up this card for $12,500. And obviously there's no comps, and I have no idea what it would sell for today. I'm curious to see in the comments, if I did sell it, what do you think it would sell for? Most likely I would auction this off on Golden. Most of the high-end cards go there. I have no idea what it would sell for. All I do know is that I'm going to probably keep this card in my collection for the rest of my life. I can't believe I own these 3 cards. It's pretty incredible. So these are probably the top 3 cards in my collection value-wise. They're not the 3 most important cards. The Kobe, they might be. But my main PC growing up was Eli Manning. I'm going to eventually show off my Eli Manning PC, but we got to start off with a bang with our first content video. So everyone, please subscribe if you like the video, share the video, do whatever you have to do to the video to spread the word.